Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's the old guy here. I'm out here working on this DT400. I made a miscalculation. I had the rectifier regulator all installed down here, and I thought it was going to be just fine. Now, of course, the exhaust has to come across here, but I measured wrong, and it will not fit there with the muffler. So, we're going back, I guess, to my original thoughts, which means it's going to be in the tool tray. So I'll get started on that. I've done some work on the battery. I put a fuse in it. This comes off the battery. This particular plug right here will take 3 separate inputs besides the original cable here. So one of those goes to this wire, which ends up here to the switch, and then comes back from there. But it also goes someplace else, and I'm not sure, but let's check something here. If I turn the headlight on, it comes on. Key is off. I think this might be the headlight. Right, it is. Now, to me, I wouldn't want it that way, because I'd always walk off and forget to turn the headlight off. So I would want that switched on the key. So we know this yellow wire goes up to the headlight. We need to put a jumper between here and here to make sure that it's off when the key is off. So let's see if we can do that, okay? Let me go get a jumper. All right, I got a jumper wire in here going up to these this yellow, which goes to the headlight, and the headlight does not come on with the key off. If we turn the key on, it does. So that's what we need to do. Actually, there's another position on the key switch. No, there isn't. Oh, the earlier ones had 3 positions. So this makes it so it has to be on. The key has to be on to get the headlights. And that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. So we'll figure out how to do that. All right, so we got things kind of neated up here. This the new battery, the 12-volt battery that's down here, is connected to this. And this is also connected to the fuse, and the other end of the fuse is connected to this red wire, which goes all the way up here. And that, or this, not that one, this one, I think. Nope, this is the one. This goes to the key switch. And the key switch, when you turn it on, turns this 12 volts, which comes from here through the fuse, back around and puts it on this brown wire. That brown wire goes several places. Down here is the main one, and this goes to I'll get it yet, flasher. And I'm hoping that this flasher works, but I won't know for a while. This is a 12 volt LED flasher. Now, I ordered new bulbs, LED bulbs, that I believe will fit in these turn signals. So with this LED flasher, they may work. Now, this black-white wire coming out of this plug is, when you turn the key switch to off, it's grounded. And when you ground it, you're putting a ground on this wire here, coming out of the new Vape system, this blue wire, because it's going to be connected in there. What's also connected to that is this engine stop up here. So either one of those will shut the engine spark totally off. So if the key is in the off position like it is there, or if this is in the engine stop position like it is there, the engine won't run. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Now this cable goes up, I believe, I'm not sure yet, so I got to find out. I think it goes up to here. And it's been cut and rewrapped and rewired and several things here. So I can tell you a couple of the things that come out of there. Blue with a white stripe, that's going to be a headlight. Yellow with a white stripe, that's going to be a headlight. Nope. Then you got green and brown. Those are going to be turn signals. And you should have, going up there, brown with a white stripe. And brown with the white stripe should go to the center of the turn signal switch. They didn't worry about that because they took the turn signals off. But I'm going to try and make them work. So, I need to get the brown-white, which is down here, up to here. It goes into the center position on this switch, and then you get green on one side and brown on the other. And I have a mental block. I can't ever remember that. I don't know why, which one's brown and which one's green. But I got a book that tells me. So I don't need to. All right, these kind of pack neatly down in here because the battery that's in there is just a little tiny thing, 1.3 ampere hours. But it does make the headlight turn on very bright. It won't do it for long, but if the engine's running, then you got these two black wires coming up from the new stator down here, and they have an AC voltage on them. This little box rectifies that AC voltage and sends it on this red wire over to the battery to charge it and to provide extra electricity or current to the headlight and the indicator lights and all that. So we're getting there. We got the, not new, but newly painted muffler in there. What else have we got? We got the carb in. I got these two wires here that used to go to the rectifier, which was located up here. I'm not sure, one of these, this one or this one down here. I'm going to put the new turn signal flasher on this one, I think. So I got lots of work to do yet, but we'll get there. That wire is just a ground. It was normally tied to one of the bolts over here, so we'll put a lead back on it and do the same thing. We'll tie it to ground just to make sure. We don't want any floating grounds around here. Yeah, it's brown on the left side and green on the right side. All right, I'll be back. And these are the LED 1156 compatible bulbs, single element. And I have no idea, they're from China, of course, because who in the United States could make 20 of them, put them in a bag and sell them for $8, huh? Nobody in the United States could do that. So we'll give them a try. We'll see what happens. This is what your turn signals are going to look like. How bright they'll be. And here's our next project. This cable that runs all the way down to, I have no idea. I think that's it there. Yeah, that looks like it. Runs to there. But it's kind of been messed with and rewrapped and all kinds of things. I don't have any of that same color casing, but I have some black and that'll work just fine. And so we're going to take this whole switch assembly off. Hopefully we can save the handle grip. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to get those off. And you just cut a slot down through them and they come right off then. I probably got some more up there. So we'll be getting that off. We'll put it up on the bench. Well, after I clean off the bench a little bit. I have a bad habit of getting stuff out and not putting it back when I'm through with it. Well, folks, I don't know why it is, but every time I start to do one thing, which is I was going to start working on this, but I needed to clean off the bench a little bit first so I'd have a clean place to work. So I got started over there, and what did I do? Well, I found the new air filter that I got for this thing, and also the cage, the new cage that I got from KDI. So this didn't have either in it when I opened it up. There was no air filter at all. So I figured I might as well put that in, get it out of the way off the bench. And I did. Put it in there. And then I got done with that, and I saw the nuts laying here for the exhaust, the flange that goes up in here and fastens that. And I said, well, I might as well tie that in place too. I don't have the collar for up here yet, but that should be in within a couple of days. And so I started putting that in, and I remember when I took it off, took the nuts off to let that out, I thought they were awful loose for being the nuts that hold your exhaust in place. And sure enough, one of them just kept turning when I was trying to tighten it up. And I got to looking at it, and I decided, well, I'm going to need new studs. So I went in and logged into Partzilla and looked up the part number, and they didn't have any of them for sale. So I went over to eBay with the part number, and I looked it up on eBay, and they didn't have any for sale either. Well, I looked it up on Amazon, or actually just did a Google search on it to see if anybody had any, and there doesn't seem to be any. Now, the part number listed indicates that that's an M6 stud. But the thing is, it's not just an M6 stud. This over here is off of my DT175, and I took these out. I'm getting ready to send this up to Dale Seeger to put a new piston in it and bore it out. And that's what you got. And what that is an M6 with a 0.75 pitch on one end and an M8 with a 1.0 pitch on the other end. Those are both fine threads, according to what I can find out. And they are just not available. So I guess my option is, and I'm not sure, I might be able to, this is on his, I'm going to have to worry about it. This one has the studs, and he can't have them. I could use a thread restorer in this one. This one's a little jimmied up. But anyway, that's what we're looking for. And I won't be able to tighten that up until I get something better than what it's got in it. That means I'm going to have to pull those studs out, which means I got to pull the exhaust off again and get it out of the way. And then hopefully I can just get a pair of vice grips on those things and turn them back out if I find something to replace them with. But right now, I kind of got a clean space over here. It's probably as good as it's ever going to be. So I think I'll start working on taking this switch assembly off and getting it over there on the bench. I may put it over here where all my batteries and stuff are. I'm not sure yet. But you don't need to see that. It's just a matter of taking it off and unthreading the cable and getting it all unhooked down here and get it straightened out. I'll be back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I spent all that time unwrapping this. It had all of this on it, and it had some more too. Each one of these connections between these wires was just wrapped together, twisted together, and put tape over the top of it. Not exactly the way I'd do it. So we cut the rest of this sheath off of this. There was just a little bit left down here, and then it was all taped up. And we're going to have to figure out what we want to figure out here. And I'm pretty sure that there should be two brown wires. Well, yeah. This brown wire goes to the left turn signal. This green wire that they cut for some reason goes to the right turn signal. Let me move you back a little ways and get a little broader view. How's that? Okay. So now we've got two main branches here coming out of the end of this from the switch. This one goes up inside the headlight bucket and it connects to the main wiring harness, the left and right turn signals, brown and green. The horn, this is a ground. The horn button will put a ground on this wire, and the other side of the horn should have voltage on it. So I'll have to check that horn if it's the old 6-volt horn. I do have some 12-volt ones. This brown with a white stripe comes into the center of the turn signal switch. This is a 3-position switch. Left, right, and center. So this goes to the center, and then when you switch the switch to left or right, it takes what's on this plug and puts it to that whichever way you went, left or right. And that's once they connect to the light bulbs then, once they connect to the light bulbs, they see current draw and the flasher will start to flash. Yellow. Not real sure, but I believe it may have been at one time the voltage from the lighting coil, and it was sent up to, I believe, this switch here. That's the way it's supposed to be. This switch turns the headlights on or off. So if this was the lighting coil, it would feed through here and come into this switch down below, and when you turned it on, it would take that voltage coming from the lighting coil and send it over to the high beam, low beam, and then this would select which way, whether you wanted high or low. So in our case, this won't work because we don't have a lighting coil. The Vape system doesn't have that. So what we're going to have to do is tie this wire to a brown wire, and a light brown wire, not the dark brown wire that goes to the turn signal. Okay? The light brown wire should have battery voltage on it all the time with the key is on, when the key is on. So that's what we've got to accomplish. Down here, you see this yellow with a white stripe. That, I believe, yellow with a white stripe, I didn't say that before, but yellow with a white stripe is what's coming from the, from the lighting coil. And then yellow out is what goes to I'm not sure, but I got to find all that out. Get the diagram out and figure it out. And we got to put all these wires back together. And that's going to be a different story, I think. I think I'm going to end up this tape or this video, and we'll come back. It's my quitting time. I got into things I didn't really want to get into today. There's some... I'm not sure what this is, but they used it to tie two wires together, the blue wires, I think. They used to tie the blue wire that I pulled out, this wire, which they brought up here and twisted together with oh lordy, with the brown-white wire, which is supposed to come from the flasher. But they tied the flasher wire to something. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Like putting together a crossword or picture puzzle. I haven't done that in years. I do crosswords all the time, but I don't do picture puzzles. So I'm going to call it quits today, and I'm going to end up this video. So I'll send it out probably tonight while I'm sleeping. Takes a while for these things to post. And then when I come back, I'll be digging into getting this thing all straightened out. I will use solder connections. I'll probably use the uncovered crimp connectors and then solder them. Kind of like wearing suspenders and a belt, huh? Makes me feel more secure. So I'll see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe if you liked and want to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, don't do it. And if you do happen to make it back, I'll be happy to see you. Put a comment in there and I'll try and answer it. And if I give you a stupid answer, you can call me stupid. Whatever you want to do. We'll see you next time.